But the reality is Hunter Biden they're setting him up to be the fall guy. You know, whether it's the gun stuff, what's the tax evasion stuff, the crack cocaine, you know, now he's Blow Casso out here painting paintings. So nothing's going to happen to Biden, and Hunter's going to be the fall guy. We first learned about this guy, Tony Bobulinski. Remember, it was October of 2020 during the election. Hunter Biden, Tony Bobulinski. I remember we did the debate in Dallas at this point. Everyone's like, who the fuck? This is Bobulinski. Just crazy. 4 years later, he's still dealing with the exact same thing.
Hey, Adam, I just drew some concentric circles, kind of scribbles, and I wrote what I think of AOC. I'll sell this to you for 50 grand right now.
You have a deal, sir. I'm surprised you didn't charge 100 grand. I overpaid.
I can't read what I said.
Wow, that's art. That's art. You should auction it.
Tax the rich, tax the bitch.
Auction it. We should auction that.
By the way, meanwhile, President Trump comes out in an interview with Sebastian Gorka. Rob, if you can have this ready, and both clips, if we can go to it. So this is one of them. Go ahead and play this.
Democrats hate Bibi Netanyahu.
I actually think they hate Israel.
Yes.
I don't think they hate him. I think they hate Israel. When you see those Palestinian marches, even I'm amazed at how many people are in those marches. And guys like Schumer see that, and to him it's votes. I think it's votes more than anything else, because he was always pro-Israel. He's very anti-Israel now. Any Jewish person that votes for Democrats hates their religion, they hate everything about Israel, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
Now go play the other clip. Go play the other clip, because there's two of them, Rob, I believe, right? Go ahead. Now he's addressing it.
By the courts.
President Trump, do you think Jewish people who vote Democrat hate their religion? Do you think Jewish people who vote Democrat?
I think that the Democrats have been very, very opposed to Jewish people. That's true, and to Israel. All you have to do is look at Senator Schumer. What he did with Israel is a disgrace, and I think Israel will probably not forget it very soon. It's a very sad situation.
Do you think the 16-week abortion...
There you go.
He's
so
right.
Thoughts on this? You
right.
agree with him?
He's right. Look, I was in Israel last week when Schumer gave that speech. And, you know, being in Israel, and I went to the kibbutzes that were attacked. I was right on the border with Gaza, which when you see how close this thing was to Gaza, and that they had basically just like a fence. You have a better fence at your house with some barbed wire. Egypt has 3 layers of fences that are way higher and everything else. And then to see the utter devastation. One of the communities I was in, 900 people live there. 2 people live there now.
Jeez.
I went to the Nova Festival. It looks like a graveyard of 350 people, but it's a memorial now. I talked to survivors. I talked to people in hostages' families. All of these things. But to be there during that. That's the Egypt border. That's the Egypt border. You can maybe find it on my Twitter, a picture of the border that Israel had with Gaza, which looks nothing like that, and they regret that. And they relied way too much on technology and all that. But anyway, to be there and witnessing what happened, and I also saw the 47-minute video. You know, there's this video that they're not releasing publicly. It is there literally are not words to explain the things that I saw. I mean, beheading people with what looks like a kitchen knife, and watching the entire thing. The worst, even worse, and then walking away with the head. I swear on my life. And even worse than that, the worst thing that I saw was you see a father of 2 young boys. I'm actually not even sure if I'm supposed to talk about this, but you see a father of 2 young boys, probably 6 and 8 years old. The Hamas guys break into the house. The father runs with them, grabs them both, trying to get them into the bomb shelter. But the bomb shelter is a bomb shelter. It's not set up to be a defense if a terrorist breaks into your house. The guy calmly walks up and just throws a grenade into the bomb shelter. You see the dad's body basically just explode and drop dead. 2 little kids hysterical crying. Then there's video of them talking in the kitchen, hiding about what just happened to their dad. One of the kids' eyes is blown away. It turns out the kids actually did survive. But anyway, to be there, to watch that and see what's going on and be at Hostage Square with all these people and then have Schumer get up there where everybody, it doesn't matter what you think. Trump is totally right. It's not about, Bibi is just an avatar for Israel right now, right? The entire country's behind him, 100%. They know they have to win this war. As almost every single person from the flight attendant on El Al to anyone I met in Jerusalem said to me, we have to win this war. We have no choice. There's no choice. They win this war or the state does not exist. And by the way, there's a bigger war brewing on the north because Hezbollah is way stronger than Hamas and they've got something like 100,000 rockets facing them. So there's a cataclysmic series of events on the horizon here. But to be there while Schumer, and the thing is, Schumer, it's the most cynical thing you can do. What Schumer has realized, and I think what the Democrats have realized, is they don't need the Jews anymore, basically. And for Schumer as a Jew, I think there's a particular version of kind of hell in that. But what they've realized is they're winning California no matter what. They're winning New York no matter what, despite our earlier segment. And they're losing Florida no matter what. That's pretty much the entire Jewish vote. So now they suddenly see 50,000 Muslims in Dearborn, Michigan as important. And Biden has dementia, and nope, he's not running the show. And Schumer did, like, to me, it's the most cynical, awful thing you can possibly do right now. And to be there during it was
What is
wild.
that? What is that?
What do you mean?
Schumer.
What do you say?
Oh, no. In essence, I mean, he completely threw Israel under the bus. They're fighting an unbelievably just war. You know, if you compare it in numbers, imagine if 10,000 Americans were killed and several other thousand were kidnapped, and then right when they get to the end, because Rafah now is the end. This is the end. The hostages are there. Who knows if any of them are alive at this point? And if they are alive, just wait till they get them out and they look like Holocaust survivors, what the emotional reaction to that is going to be. But they're right at the end, and right at the end, you basically call to depose a democratically elected leader. This has nothing to do with whether you like Bibi or not, or what your feelings on his politics are or anything else. He is a rightfully elected leader of an ally. And even if they weren't an ally, they're a democratically elected government. And to basically call for them to be deposed, I thought we're not for nation building. Are the Democrats suddenly for nation building? But to do it to a country that's in the midst of an existential war is completely beyond the pale. I mean, Schumer, he's trading. He basically wants to get beheaded a day later. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to bury his head in the sand so they behead him a little bit lower on the.
Did you see Bibi's response? He's just said, look, as a democratic country ally of the U.S., whatever you feel, don't call for elections, because that's basically what they're calling for, elections for Bibi. Now, we all know what happened in Israel prior to October 7th. It was very contentious. The Supreme Court, what they were stacking the court, just in the context of America, some people don't know how it works in the Knesset and in Israeli politics. You have the left wing, you have the right wing. It's also a parliamentary system, right? So Bibi is on the right. He's basically the Donald Trump of Israel. But in order to basically put together a coalition, he had to align himself with the far right extremists, the Orthodox community, the religious. But the people on the left, here's the biggest thing. The people on the left, the people that were killed at the Nova Festival, the people that were killed in the kibbutzes, those were the leftists.
They were all lefties.
Those were the peaceful people. Those are the people that are screaming from the rooftops, we have to coexist. We have to help our Palestinian brethren. Those are the people that were massacred.
By the way,
so now there's uniformity in Israel. They're killing the people calling for peace. So those people are now completely silenced, and they're just like, look, end these guys.
Yeah, the left there, that the peacenik left is over, and it should be over. Frankly, I never believed in it, but it should be over. The Palestinians don't want a state; they want to make sure that there's no Israeli state. That really is what that is. Yeah,
Israelis are gone.
Yeah, so. That's one part of it, but the left there has largely disappeared because the people that live down south, as you point out, they wanted a lot of the people that broke in on October 7th. They worked at those kibbutzes.
They'd come in every single day and work and make money.
One of the things that they did, we saw this there. They would put numbers on the houses so that the Hamas guys knew how many people they were supposed to kill in each house because they had workers there that work with them. So that thing has collapsed. But for Schumer, and by the way, this has nothing to, I happen to be a supporter of Israel, obviously, but if Schumer did this, or if a Democrat leader did this to any democratically elected government, it would be wrong. We wouldn't want an ally saying, look, Joe Biden has dementia. Everyone knows it. Our policies are horrible. Imagine if France was like, you know what, it's time for, if the French prime minister got up there and was like, it's time for Joe Biden to go, and the American, we would all be like,
he's got
fuck off, motherfucker.
Right
yeah. And
take
Dave,
care of his husband. But
So, are you on board that one?
100. I'm with him.
And by the way, nothing wrong with that. But the way they're putting it, like since 15 years old, that was your teacher.
That's called pedophilia.
Anyways, I don't want to go through it. Go ahead.
So Dave, I have two things. So when you said about the Jewish people, basically, are they abandoning like full whole what he's doing, how they're treating, with Schumer treating this? Because basically, it's for votes. He's literally turning his back as a Jew, saying the hell with everybody. He wants those votes. Same with the left. Again, the Schumers, illegals, open the border. They're just that hungry for power. Have they lost the Jewish that block for good? Is that it?
I think they are it's a horrifically cynical political calculation to just look at the numbers. I don't know what percentage, maybe we can figure it out. Jews live in New York, Cali, and Florida. And if you know the results of those elections already, you just don't need them anymore. It's as simple as that. By the way, it's why the Democrats always win the black vote and then never do anything for blacks. It's like, we'll get these people to vote for us and we don't have to do anything for them. This is pretty freaking spectacular. So it's a similar version to that. So Schumer also, you have to remember, this guy's been in politics. It's not as long as Biden, but he's a piece of the machine that has existed for so long that he's just running cover to maintain his power as much as he can. I don't even think that takes great analysis to figure out. Yeah. And when he's doing that, if he has to throw his own people under the bus, and by the way, this is a guy who's been pretty good on Israel as a Democrat. I mean, he was against the Iran deal, which I think was the right position, but it's a horribly cynical thing, and I hope for the rest of his life, every time he steps foot in a synagogue, he's booed out.
Good. Watch this here. 16% of Jews comprise approximately of New York City's population, making the Jewish community the largest in the world. Outside of Israel, as of 2020, just over 1.3 million Jews lived in the 5 boroughs of New York City. Over 1.912 Jews lived in New York, Newark, Jersey City overall. So again, if these guys got fully pushed away, and they have influence. I don't know where we were at. We were in the Bahamas. I don't know where we were at. There's like 100 Jews from New York who were in Bahamas, and I'm there with the family, Moralty, kids, we're just having a good time. And one by one, they're all coming and we're talking to them, right? Vinny, weren't you with us?
No, mine was at the airport with like 30.
And they're all like, yeah, let me tell you, we're from this and we're from that. And then the wife comes and this person comes and that person comes. I'm like, so where are you guys politically? Because, most of you guys are this, well, listen, I'm not going to vote for Trump, the wife. And it's like, well, I'm trying to figure out my wife. There's about 100 of them, and they were all Trump guys.
Yeah.
Okay, on this trip. So if then you do this, and they have influence, and they're making money, and they're doers, imagine what they can flip in state like New York. By the way,
do you know my blowjob theory? My blowjob political theory? Have I?
You told it to Rudy Giuliani, I believe. So yeah,
my blowjob theory is that most men, sane men, are okay with Trump. Like they can see through all the bullshit and everything else. Women, mostly middle class women or upper middle class educated women, still have just the aversion to Trump, the way he speaks, grab him by the pussy and all that. And at the end of the day, guys like getting a blowjob. And if you think that you are not going to get blowjobs anymore because you're supporting Trump, then a lot of these guys are going to be quiet. However, I do think, in light of what's happened over the last couple of months, that's shifting a little bit. But I actually think that's a pretty legit theory.
Very interesting theory.
Unless anyone here wants to come out against blowjobs.
By the way, we'll be speaking about that later on Saucecast. So, but to what Tom was saying about the red wave and what PBD's talking about, New York could go for Trump or the blacks for Trump. We're seeing Latinos break for Trump. I think we're going to see an overwhelming majority of Jewish people being like, yeah, I'm done with the Democratic Party.
Good.
We saw the Michael Rappaport right here. Big dick Donald Trump. I said, I want to make you a bet, buddy. I think you're actually going to end up voting for Trump. Well, what do you mean? Because I'm like, you're a dude. You like blowjobs. Okay, so here you go right there. So I think there's going to be some sort of red wave coming from blue Israel over to the Democratic, from the Democratic Party to Trump, and I think he's going to do that. So we'll see what happens with that.
Words talk, numbers scream. And as much as the Democrat pollsters look, we're 4 points closer in Texas, they need to look over their shoulder and look at what's happening in New York because those numbers are real. Is Trump going to win New York? I don't think he's going to win New York, but it's going to be closer than ever, and I think it's going to scare the hell out of them.
And the biggest
because if New York's close, Pennsylvania is not New York because you have so much of that Allegheny area. We'll cover this in due time, but there are things happening.
In your numbers, what is it?
Words talk, numbers scream.
Oh, numbers scream. I mean, if you want to ask, like, why is Schumer doing this? Why is Bernie doing this? It really has to do with one thing, and that's Gen Z. Overwhelmingly, 35 plus Americans, age 35 plus, overwhelmingly support Israel as a democracy, as an ally. It's the TikTok generation. We can go down the rabbit hole of ByteDance, TikTok, and CCP that is indoctrinating the youth to every single thing that's happening here. They're like, why would you side with an ally, America, Israel? No, side with Osama bin Laden and the terrorists. Go for it. And that's what happens to kids.
The only qualification I would make on that is Bernie's been pretty consistent on his awful Israel stance forever, and he should go to Gaza. Go to Gaza, Bernie. You know, the other thing in the 47-minute video is they never say free Palestine. They're yelling religious slogans the entire time, and they're talking about kill the Jew, kill that Jew. A guy calls on WhatsApp, calls his mom to talk about how many Jews he's killed. So Bernie, they'll still kill you, Bernie. Chuck, they're still going to kill you, Chuck, and they will kill everybody that you know. Send Amy Schumer there and see what they do to her, their cousin.
Who from the left has gone to Gaza? Schumer.
Gone to Gaza?
Gone over there, right? Like gone to
Israel.
Well, no one's going to Gaza right now. I mean, they're not.
But what they're saying, if you're saying it's going to be safe for them, let's defend them.
No, send them. I would
what I'm saying is, why don't you go?
Yeah, go hang out.
Go hang out and spend a little bit more time talking to them.
tweeted,
if you care so much about it, go there.
I'll donate $100,000 to Schumer's next campaign if he walks into Gaza.
There you go.
Walks into Gaza,
by the way, did you watch the interview Candace did recently with